Oops.
Mercury retrograde already happening.
No idea what I'm doing. No idea. At this point, I was just pressing buttons, see which one would work better. Everybody, welcome to another episode of The Crab and the Goat. I am Daniel G. Garza, the Goat. And
I am Richard Wayne Kilgo II, the Crab.
How you doing, Wayne?
I am good. I am, let me tell you, coming out of the last couple of weeks, coming out of the end of Scorpio season, or the second half of Scorpio season, was very intense. I'm definitely going to speak about that in a little bit, but I'm feeling more myself than I was before, if not even more of myself. So I'm happy. I'm happy that we're back after a little break last week, and I'm feeling good. I'm excited for this holiday week of giving thanks. So how about you? How have you been?
I don't know. I'm here, therefore I will say that I am good. So let's go with that. I am doing really good.
We'll take it.
I want to start by saying hello to all our friends who are watching us on Instagram. Just to let you know, although your comments cannot appear on our board because they're on Instagram, doesn't connect to StreamYard, we can watch you. So we are watching our Instagram pages to make sure that we acknowledge you. So when the card reading part of the show starts, just know that you will be acknowledged and you will get a reading if you choose to. So how has your week been now that we were out for 2 weeks?
So I will say, actually, our last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, we didn't necessarily speak to it, but I ended up having an aura migraine during the show. And that was, something that I have somewhat frequently. Sometimes it's every 4 or 5 months. Sometimes it happens every other month or so. But this one was definitely one that was part of like the astrological energies. So I feel like it was really bringing up a lot of what I needed to look at, a lot of my emotional karma, a lot of my trauma that I've been working on coming forward, because it really took me into an emotional space. I'll say a little bit of a depressed space. That definitely happens with the migraines, losing your dopamine during that process. But I really embraced it and really tried to say, okay, just as I speak about, the universe is pumping up energy into this. The universe is having this come up. These emotions are coming up for a reason. So I am thankful that, that process unfolded. Of course, it stinks to have to go through, an aura migraine in that way. And actually I had another one the following Monday. So it's kind of an aftershock. But in being able to have that come up and being able to have my emotions come up in the way that it did, it was kind of a gift in disguise in helping me to, like I said, process more of the emotional energy that I was needing to. So the last few days have been good. I've kind of been, since Thursday, feeling a bit better. And over the weekend got to do some really cool activities and got to see some family. So it has been, it's been good. I feel like I'm in a much better place because the last 2 weeks, and like I said, the last half of Scorpio season was definitely very intense for me.
I'm glad because it's funny. Well, first of all, acknowledging, hi, Joan. Thank you for joining us on the show, and I hope you stick around through all of it into our readings later. It's interesting because I was just talking to somebody this morning. We were talking about, and this is whatever you want to call it, a tunnel. Pardon me. There is a little bug flying around, and it is appealing to me.
Round of applause.
Yes. for this. I'm sure that looked weird on camera. There's a little bug. I swear there is a little bug. But I was just talking to somebody this morning, and whether you call it a tunnel, a journey, a phase, whatever name you have for it, there are lessons to be learned. And there is the intro, the in between, and the exit, like a book, like a play, like a movie. And in the center, there is there's the dark part in the center. There's a heavy part. There's the more difficult part. But unless you go through it, like for instance, migraines or headaches, something physical, and you learn something, then the exit is a lot easier, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Richard Soundbath and Visions and Dreams on Friday. Oh, awesome.
Awesome. Yes, Joan, I loved having you there. It was such a great experience with you. And I'm so glad that you're here today, here to get to experience, more of me, more of my best friend, Daniel. And so happy that you're here.
Yes, thank you. For those of you that are watching and have not been to one of Wayne's sound baths, you haven't had a bath. That sounds odd, but I said what I said, and I'm going to stick with it. I think it's been a while since I did mine. I think I did the first one that you did.
Mm-hmm.
That the very, very first one. So how long ago was that?
So that was. I think you went to one earlier this year, but if not, it was probably at the end of last year.
Right. Okay. So it's been about a year since I went.
A year and a half now.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. It was great. I walked out of there. Well, it's not a surprise. Anytime I do any kind of energy work, I walk out hungry. So I walked out there very hungry, which I forget where I ended up going for dinner that night. Anyway, but it was really delicious. Thank you everybody for joining. So again, this is the Crab and Goat Show, episode 4. You can always go back and find our shows on both of our YouTube pages, Facebook, LinkedIn, on mine. Unfortunately, Instagram does not save them, so you can't go back and find them when you do it through here. But you can go back to our YouTube pages and find them. So you can maybe, I tell people, if you go back and watch a show and the message resonates for you, it's because you were meant to watch it then.
Yes.
And the alignments, it's the same way. The alignments are, when you do it, it's meant for you. This is the moment for you. So for those of you watching, if you're going to be doing the alignment with us, make sure you have a pen and paper ready for you. So anyway, are you ready for your section?
Yes, let's do it. All right. So, few things I want to cover. So I know I kind of just spoke to this and kind of talking about how I've been this last couple of weeks, but we are now officially out of Scorpio season. It is now Sagittarius season. And I do love, I appreciate every sign as we get kind of broadcasted with its energy, whether what planet it's in, but especially with the sun sign, that's the way that we really feel it. That's the way that we feel it as we're coming forward with it. So we've just stepped out of Scorpio, which is the depths of emotions. It is our shadow self at times. It is a sign that also represents the parts of us that we don't always necessarily want to show or share, either with others or with ourselves. And so that's why this last month, for everyone, I would say, even my clients that I've been working with over the past month with the Scorpio season, it's a lot of shadow work. It's a lot of the trauma coming up. It's a lot of the old beliefs that are needing to be identified. And right now, this is that time of this year is one that is especially intense, that has made it more of a focus to clear these things out because of the larger planets that are at play, or the outer planets that are at play. And so this really is, this last month has been very intense for releasing. There still may be some things that you are releasing. There may be certain ways that you're starting to feel reborn with those things that you have released. But now that we're stepping into Sagittarius season, Sagittarius being that fire sign, to me, Sagittarius always represents, they're so much fun. They want to have fun. They're the life of the party to a degree. And they're also very spiritual. They're very spiritual seeking. It's also interesting. I like to speak to this. Sagittarius says you'll find a lot of them in IT work, because they like to understand why things work. Why does it do this? Why that? Why this? So when I think of Sagittarius, they're the ones that are always asking the why. And so this is a period of time for us to do that same thing. Those things come into focus, those ideas of what is in the everyday and what is the spiritual focus behind it. What is happening right now and why is this happening? Why did this come through? So we're definitely being broadcasted with that energy. And then the other thing I wanted to speak to is we are now officially with Pluto in Aquarius. So it will now be in Aquarius for basically the next 20 years. And it's a slow moving sign. So this isn't one that is easy to sense subtly. It's still in its very, very little degrees of the sign as well too. So it's something where we're not really going to start feeling that true Aquarian energy in Pluto for quite some time. I would say at least a few months before we start having it kind of inch in. But it is that energy of community, a further spiritual support, spiritual technology, the collective as a whole growing and ascending. So we have that energy that has started to support us now. We're no longer in that Capricorn energy in Pluto. And so that power for power's sake, that energy is starting to fade out. So with that being said, it's this upcoming week, we have the sun in Sagittarius, Mercury is in Sagittarius, and actually Mercury is retrograding starting today. I believe until, I think it's December 15th. I just looked at it, but I don't remember now. I'm pretty sure it's the 15th. So with Mercury retrograding, it's in Sagittarius as well too. So when Mercury goes retrograde, to me, I see it as kind of like that energy of communication is taken offline. So we can go back and we can edit, clear out, upgrade that energy. And then once it goes back online, we can start to move forward and fully utilize that again. So as with any Mercury retrograde, it's not a great time to sign any contracts. It's not a great time to have really deep conversations, because what you say may be misconstrued. The way that you deliver the message may not come across the way that you want it to. So it's a really good time to go internal with your communications. And again, with Sagittarius being the sign that it's retrograding in, this is a really great time to ask yourself why, in a lot of ways, what has been happening? Why have I been communicating in this way? Why have why have I been struggling in my communications with this person, that person? And it may reconfirm, stepping away from that certain type of relationship, or it may reconfirm, okay, I realized that I was coming from a place that was not in my integrity, and I need to have this conversation once Mercury is direct again with that person to clarify what had happened. So the other thing that I'll speak to too, we have a new moon happening on December 1st, so that'll be Sunday, so 6 days from today. And with that new moon energy can always feel a little bit empty. It's that dark time, it's that dark sign. And then that's when the energy of that starts to grow from that space. So kind of all of the planet things that are happening. And then I also did pull cards once again to kind of see what each day looks like from a intuitive perspective. So today we have the Four of Wands, which I'm definitely feeling this energy. It is the energy of like community support, grounding foundation in that way, feeling like we can actually start making some progress in our creative endeavors, and that we're feeling the support of others, and even that balancing of our masculine and feminine energies. So great energy for today. Tomorrow, I love this too. And I'd say this whole week actually looks really great. I know the last show that we had, it felt very intense with what we had coming up, and it definitely played out that way. So at least for me, I'd love to hear too from any of you that were here for our episode 2 weeks ago, if those cards resonated with you. So for tomorrow, the stars. So it's a really good day for creativity, a really good day for grounding your mental and emotional self, and letting yourself get into some creative crafts. I feel like with this time of year, a lot of people tend to have this week off, so it would be a good time to like dive into what creative energies have you not looked at in quite some time. Wednesday, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is about recognizing what value you have built, what value you have worked very hard for, and seeing where do you need to maybe prune away what is not serving you, so that you can really start to harvest your garden soon and know that you are really bringing in all the things that you have wanted. So really great energy, and good energy for appreciation too, gratitude in that way with Thanksgiving. And then Thanksgiving, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is interesting. This gives me interesting vibes in that Thanksgiving, it's one of my favorite days of the year, because I feel like when we're out in public, people during Thanksgiving, they're so much nicer. They are like so much more focused on this thankfulness, the gratitude. And I wish that we could have the energy of that every single day of the year. I feel like it would be a very different world out there if we did do that. But what's interesting with this is I feel like Thanksgiving is going to be what you make of it. I know it is. Again, we don't like to get too political about things, but it is a time that can be, especially for holidays, where we feel maybe expected to go home to family and have to converse with other people who maybe don't have the same viewpoints as us, who don't really see the world in the same way that we do. So this card really tells me that however you plan on showing up, be intentional. And if you don't want to necessarily have to go see your family, then don't. Let yourself set different intentions for that, and let those expectations of those others go, and those expectations of yourself. Because I feel like if you go into it and you're not really setting intentions to enjoy yourself with gratitude and be thankful, the Wheel of Fortune is going to turn it on you, and you are going to have a very challenging day. So really be intentional about where are you spending your time. Let it be a space where you feel like you can be grateful, have that gratitude. And if there's anyone that you're planning on spending it with that you feel like might suck the gratitude out of your day, don't do it. Don't go, or disinvite them. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but that's what I'm feeling intuitively, so I'm going to go with it. And then Friday. So this was interesting when I pulled this as well too. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed for Friday. Black Friday, obviously very popular for its deals. So this card really tells me don't overspend. Don't feel like you need to buy anything that's not going to serve you. Of course, if there's something that you've been looking at that has value for you, that you've been waiting for Black Friday, go in and do that. But let this be, again, the day where you are more grateful for what you have. And if you're purchasing something, if you're letting something come in and you're spending money that you have worked so hard for, make sure that it's something that you value and that you will be able to move forward with as well too. So be a little bit more frugal with that type of energy. And then for Saturday, we have the Strength card, and Sunday, we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So with that, I feel like this weekend is one that we can come into enjoying the energies of the week, however that has folded out. And this too, like let's say Thursday, you still go to that family event and it does come that kind of day that's challenging. Know that the Strength card is there to help reinforce and help you to understand why that happened so that you're not allowing that to happen again. And then on our new moon day, we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So this would tell me that it's likely on Sunday, energies are going to come up about what have you not been valuing, or where have you been disrespecting or devaluing yourself. And those energies are likely to come up. The new moon can feel somber. It can feel empty to a degree. That's what it is. It's the emptiness of that energy before it starts to build again. So just know that if you're feeling that on Sunday with that Sag energy, it's important to ask, why am I feeling this? Where is this coming from? Again, that Sagittarian why with that Sagittarius new moon, it will really help take you a long way in understanding yourself further and really capitalizing on that energy that's broadcasting to you. So with that said, that is what I have for everyone.
There's a lot. Well, obviously, there's a lot that you said. You say a lot, Wayne. No,
and too.
All these words you speak. It's not political, but energy-wise, I think that sometimes it's difficult, and it's a very blurred line between. It's about my personal energy and being. I mean, being the holidays. Let me start with this. The holidays should not be about stressing yourself.
Yes.
From Halloween to New Year's, it should. If the holidays are stressing you out, I always think, what person, place, or thing is stressing you out? And if it's that much, then why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Loyalty towards the family, towards the place that you grew up, or to do the things that you used to do should not overshadow your enjoyment of the holidays. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I agree.
So for those of you out there, if you missed anything that Wayne said, again, remember that all of these are on file and you can go back and catch them on replay. So, all right. So for the alignment, are we ready for the alignment, everybody? If you have your pen and paper, remember Wayne's been doing such a good job as a co-producer in editing these down, the messages and the alignment, so that you can go back on Instagram and replay just that part if you want to replay that part. And then if you want to watch the whole show, you can go back and watch the whole show. But, all right, for everybody, first of all, what is your barrier? Let me put that little, where's that? There you go. What's your barrier? So let's put that down. Remember, today's date is 11/25/2024. It is approximately 5:20 p.m. on Monday. And what is your barrier? Now that you have your barrier down. Number one, career. How is going forward in your career affecting, how is your barrier affecting your career moving forward? Or is it helping it? Remember, it's always about, is this helping or is it stopping? And then we'll put it all together at the end. But how is your career affecting your barrier? Number two, emotions. Are you balancing your emotions at the moment? You got me feeling emotions. So how are your emotions working? Are they helping you in focusing your career to move forward and breaking down that barrier? Or are your emotions pushing you to one side or the other? So this, especially as we're just talking right now, this is a time of the year, not only the holidays, but everything that we're going on in our country, how that trickles down to you. How is your emotions affecting your barrier? Number 3, commitment. This is your power. Are you committed to the emotions that your career gives you? Ooh, that's a big one. Like, whew, because I'll raise my hand. Having my own business and trying to launch things, my emotions can get out of whack at a certain point. So it makes me wonder, how committed am I to moving forward in my career? Like, how bad do you want it? So for those of you, particularly for those of you, and Wayne understand this, for those of you that have your own business, sometimes you're even having your own business, you're like, how committed am I to this? Should I go get another job? Should I go work for somebody else? And how is that going to affect my emotions and my career choice and then affect my barrier? Number 4, your connections. These are what comes into your heart. Are you putting out the energy to call in the connections you want? Are you manifesting? Are you creating the vision board? Are you working on your dreams and goals? Let me tell you, I put out those. It's like if you ever saw the Aquaman cartoons, like, doo, 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 doo. I send that out every morning, like, hey, acting career, more clients, more traveling. Like, what is it coming back? Number 5, in your throat chakra and your voice, are you staying silent? Now, some people think, well, I need to speak up to get what I want. Yes, you do. But sometimes you got to listen. There's a lot to be said in the silence. And sometimes, I'll say this in the most loving way that I possibly can. Sometimes we don't know when to shut up and let other people talk. If you're putting out the energy, if you're asking for help, if you're sending out your resume, if you're sending out an abstract, anything, you gotta sit back and let it answer back. Let the universe deliver your mail and bring back remember when you send out a proof of delivery? That's what the universe wants sometimes. Like, hey, send it, we're gonna proof it, but let me deliver it back. Don't do anything else. Just trust that you've made the connection and that there's a commitment there so that your emotions can be balanced and you can focus on the career. Focus on the career, not on work on acting, not reacting to things. And actually, in this case, maybe it's acting. Don't act, just react when it comes back. Does that make sense? I always looking at Wayne, because for those of you that don't know, there's a little box where I can see Wayne in the other room, and he nods or doesn't nod. I'm like, okay, we're on the right path. So number 6 is your inner light. Is your career choice, is it lighting up that inner light? Oh, back. Okay, thank you for coming back. Joan had lost connection. We're glad you're back. So, is your career choice doing an inner light? I always think if you don't feel spiritually lit up, is it a job or is it a career choice? Like, is it your dream or is it somebody else's dream? And then number 7, it's the miracle. Are you looking for the miracles? And I don't mean the burning bush and the angels necessarily coming down and shining on you, but the angels around you, the people, places, things around you. Is there a miracle? Is there a song? Is there a mood? Is there something somebody said? And I'll tell you all the story when we finish. But so what it tells me, ready? When I focus on my career, and let me clarify something about career. There is the personal and there's the professional careers. Professionally, of course, it's what you want to do in life. Personal careers are partner, boyfriend, husband, brothers, mother, all those relationships, friend, best friend. Those are spiritual, personal careers. I decided to take on the career, to take on being one of Wayne's friends. And he's one of my best friends, but so that's a career choice. I chose that I wanted to be his friend, and that comes with some responsibilities. So the career that I chose, is it feeling my emotions, and am I committed to make the connection, stay silent when I need to, so that my inner light can shine on the miracles? Or the other way around is, when the miracle is there, does it shine my inner light? And in the silence, I make the connections to be committed, to share my emotions for the career that I chose. I know the light's a little brighter here. Sorry, my other camera broke and I had to use okay. So think about that. What career choice do you have? And is it giving you the miracles? And I truly do believe, I'm going to bring Wayne back out. I truly do believe that having chosen to be a friend of Wayne's brings me the miracles that I want. Sometimes he gets on my nerves because he delivers the messages, and I'm like, of course he knew. Like, how dare you? How dare you, sir? But for those of you, think about the career path that you want, whether personal or professional. How is it affecting your emotions? And are you committed to go all the way? We talked about this at the beginning of the show. Are you committed to go through the tunnel and make the connections that you need to? Because even in the tunnel, we can make connections. And sometimes you just have to, I do it with Wayne a lot. I'm like, Daniel, just shut up. Just let him deliver the message. It's going to be right anyway. Because sometimes once he delivers a message, no matter how, like I do, like I say with love, sometimes he says this with love. But in the end, I know that he's adding to my inner light, not taking away. And that's part of the connection. If you're connected with somebody enough that they will shine your light, then that's where the miracle is. I don't need a burning bush or angels coming to talk to me. I know that the inner light and the miracles are. Anyway, I hope that helps. That has been our mini alignment for the day.
I love it. I'd like to share mine.
Oh, yes.
So let's see. So my blockage that came up, the first thing was the energy of not having enough, or like that lack of abundance, or not being able to receive abundance, which of course all of these, as you were pulling the cards, made so much sense. Career focused and my emotions around it, and my committed connections. And it's funny too, because you were just saying too, when you talked about the silence ones, like sometimes we just need to shut up. I was like, Daniel just told me I was saying a lot of words. Do I need to shut up? Which, I know the time to and not to, but this was actually really helpful and helps me to recognize, like, I am doing a lot of this and I'm understanding it. But that silence one, it is important. It is being able to, I think at times I feel like I need to over communicate to make sure that the value is there and that I'm showing that I have value and those types of things. So that's really great. And the other thing that I thought was interesting is during our last alignment, our last show, the crown chakra was also miracle then as well too. So it came up as miracle now. So it's interesting, kind of the theme that's coming through, because my barrier back then was feeling that I had too many things that I want to accomplish. So there's definitely that tie-in from last time to this time. And I kind of like that this is an overarching theme of the miracle of that expression and coming into, more of our fully realized selves by looking at what is our barrier and how is it getting in our way, or how are we getting in our way. So I loved it. I just like I love the alignment every week. This was great.
Awesome. Thank you. We've had some comments come up. Joan was lost, but now she's found again. Isn't that a song? Cassandra, hi, welcome to the show. We're going to start readings. It's just, go ahead.
Telling her about it. So glad that you're here. I love you.
we'll be having some readings in just a minute, but we're inviting folks to come join us for a little 10-minute segment during the week. I mean, once a week. So if you know somebody that would be a good person to bring to the show that's doing amazing work out there in energy, we'd love to have them on the show. I know we're going to bring Iris. We're going to bring Christian. We want to bring our friend Berkeley, and there's other people. But if you know somebody out in the field, somebody out there that you've been to that has done some work, and you're like, hey, I would love for them to be highlighted, please send them our way, and we will invite them on the show to tell us what they're working on. But since we don't have anybody today yet, you were telling me before we start the readings about a conversation that you were having this weekend.
Yes. So I'm always of the mindset of what is, of course, when Thanksgiving comes up, I think the question that people tend to ask around the Thanksgiving dinner table is, what are you thankful for? Which is a great question. I think it's always good to count your your blessings, count what you're thankful for. But I think with this last 2 years being somewhat, emotionally tumultuous, a lot of our past issues coming up to be addressed, it can feel really challenging. And along with the theme of Sagittarius of why, it's not just asking why in the future, but I also like to use Sagittarius season as a way to look back and see at times when I was very, very challenged by things that maybe I wasn't feeling so thankful or grateful for that experience. Looking back on it and realizing, wow, if that had not happened, I would not be where I'm at now. And I'm so thankful that I'm at where I'm at now. So because of that challenge that I experienced, because of that experience, I'm thankful for it. So we were, both me and my fiance Zav were at his dad's and stepmom's with his sisters. And the question kind of popped in my head to ask around the table, because again, I like to do this in any form. I love putting people on the spot, including myself. So I had asked, I said, what is an experience that you've had that you, in the moment was a challenge or you didn't appreciate, but, from getting some distance and having that experience, what made it easier and what are you thankful, like, how are you thankful for it now? So I'd like to frame this in like the past year, what we've looked at. So did you think of one, Daniel? Do you have one for yourself?
Yes.
Would you like to share it with the class?
How dare you, sir? What is something that happened the last year that started the challenge but got easier? There's a couple of things that came to mind. But one of the biggest challenges was I had been on this campaign for the last 6 years and really got spoiled, really got used to having a team of people working behind me, scheduling everything, planning everything. I pretty much just had to get on a plane and fly and go do my work and come home. And I got to travel literally all over the world this year. And I think the challenge was being back on my own and not having somebody to send out emails, not having somebody looking over my shoulder for everything. And it's just me. And I'll admit it has not gotten that much easier yet, because it left me with the fear of, if I do this on my own, will I succeed?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I already know how to succeed with the team. So for those of you, I had a publicist, I had a manager, we had a travel agency that worked with we had everything, and we were really spoiled. And being on my own, I started to think about going back to a corporate job and a 9 to 5, and because I was like, I can't do this on my own. It's not going to work. And it's inching in that direction, but it still gets a little difficult sometimes. I do get very anxious and thinking. I just messaged you a couple of days ago going, I'm losing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
The fear is there. But I've gotten over some tough times before. And for those of you, on Mondays, I do the check-ins with all of my friends, and several people that ask me, how are you doing? I'm like, not really all that great. Like, I'm stressing. And like almost everybody said, but you've gone through worse things. And it's true. But sometimes you just get tired of having to get through the tough times. Like, you
absolutely,
you just don't want to. You wish there wasn't a tough time to get over anymore. But again, the paths, the tunnels, the journeys. So
yes. Well, and I think too, this is again why I like the Sagittarius energy, is there's the idea of recognizing, and I think of, for me, and like all of the immense challenges that I had in my life, especially the ones that, the top ones, it's one of those things where I realize now, and I always try to approach it from that perspective of, why did this happen, so that I can take responsibility for it, even if it's something that seemed like it was outside of my control. By having that happen to me, if I would have not approached it from that perspective, maybe I would have become a little miserly. Maybe I would have been a little bit more of the victim and not really being able to step into my power because of it. And so, like, a lot of times in readings, both for myself and other people, I know, like, I will often speak to, especially if someone's facing immense challenge, that sense of this really, like the real life, mundane, these challenges, they can come up and they can feel really intense, especially when it comes to health, our physical bodies, how we feel. And so it's hard because you don't want to negate that experience that someone's gone through. But when you look at those experiences and you come out of them and come through them, it's really looking at, okay, like what good came from this? Where can I take responsibility for it? Where can I gain power from it instead of feeling like I'm a victim of my circumstances, and realizing how is this set up to help me succeed further, whether it's, 6 months down the line, a week down the line, 10 years down the line. And I think that's why I like this question too, because it helps open our eyes. It's a very Sagittarius question, open our eyes to what was seemingly something that was insurmountable, that now that it's happened, now that you've gone through it, you can recognize, like, I have strength now because I went through that experience. So I love that. And I want to share mine as well too. So I think I had a different answer last night when we were at dinner, but what comes up for me right now too is, I love to learn more. I love to experience more. I love to have more community experiences as well too. And over the past year, I have really committed to a lot. I've worked into a lot of relationships that have been mutually beneficial. I know I've spoken about my very close friend, Lori Camacho of the Awakening Store, and Tyler McLaughlin as well too. And being able to take Lori's classes has been wonderful. So I got to take a channeling class. I've gotten to take her intuitive class, which is wonderful. Highly recommend. I've gotten to do her mediumship class just in the last few months. It ended. So there was the 8 weeks with that. And I've also been doing NLP courses with Anita Burns and Alan Burns. And it's been an investment. It's been one that it's not cheap to further my education in these ways. And so at times I was really struggling, financially struggling to do it. And it made me wonder, is this worthwhile? Why am I doing this? What's the purpose? And I will say, especially right now, I'm halfway through this NLP certification course, and this NLP has been spectacular. Every part of it. The mediumship has been wonderful with Lori. But now I can really see and understand how my skills and tools have grown, having new tools in my spiritual tool belt, so to speak. And it has made me so grateful for each of those experiences, where it's been an investment of time, of money, of energy, of getting to there, going back and forth. And really, I think one of the more challenging things is spending time in that moment, right? Like every time you show up for class, I'm spending with NLP, 7 hours a day going into these processes. And it's not just about learning what it's about, but we're doing work on ourselves through that too. So it can become very overwhelming at times, but it's deep work that's happening. And so I'm so thankful for all of it and how it's been coming through. And that's my answer to the question as well too.
Got it. And we welcome everybody, all of you watching. What has been something that earlier this year was a challenge, but you got through it, and share with us. We want to share that on the screen. So you don't have to put any names or anything specific, but just a general idea. But are we ready? For those of you that are joining us for the first time, all you got to do is do me. Different show, folks. Different show.
I'm not frozen. I'm just keeping this face.
All you gotta do is type me in whatever channel you're watching on. We will take turns reading for y'all. Yes, folks, this is live. So we already have our first me on it. Thank you. That was so impromptu. But thank you for the compliment. So my compadre, my friend Jesus is first. So you want to take him first, and then I'll take Joe?
That sounds great. All right, Jesus, let's take a look and see what we have going on for you. All right. Looks like you are. It looks like you were probably pretty heavily impacted by the Scorpio season if you were listening to what I was speaking to earlier. So at the heart of your spread, at the heart of your situation, you have the 10 of Swords, and that is an intense card, intense energy, obviously. And what this card represents is karmic release. It is coming to the end of a cycle, coming to the final endings of a situation. And with the Swords, it represents the mind, can represent thoughts. And to me, it tends to represent beliefs with this card. So coming to an understanding of what beliefs in you have needed to come to a close. You probably know very much what this is talking about, especially with the Scorpio energy of whatever come up emotionally, or mentally for you in the past month. That's what this is about, and it's what's coming to a close. And what you have crossing you, or your challenge, if that didn't sound challenging enough, your actual challenge is the Nine of Pentacles. So this is understanding the growth that comes from this. This is understanding kind of just what I was talking about as well too. What is the why? Why did this happen? Why is this coming through? And what do you have to gain by having this experience, accepting it, and not allowing the victimization to happen in that way? So with that being said, the theme card that you have is the Two of Swords reversed. So this is affecting your past, present, and future. And so with this is definitely in the theme of that Ten of Swords as well too, where you're coming to release. You're now allowing your heart to be open. You're taking off the blindfold of the untruth that you have been believing or have been understanding thus far. And you're really starting to understand your emotions more. So with that, recent past affecting your present, there's been a slowdown. There's been a lot that you've probably wanted to accomplish but haven't been able to. And then at present, your emotions have needed to be released. This gives me energy of really needing to let the emotions flow. That's definitely something that Scorpio can be very good at, is crying, because it's that sense of release and releasing that energy and allowing that to flow through. So it feels like there's more processing for you to do. If you've been resistant to it, allow yourself to cry more if you can. Allow yourself to emotionally feel it, because the more you feel it and don't resist it, that's when you're going to be able to let it go. And then future influences, you have the Hangman reversed. So very soon, I would say if you're not already feeling it, you're going to start to understand a different perspective on why this has happened. So I still feel like there's some processing happening for you, but know that this really has happened for a reason, and you're coming to the end of it. What you're focused on, you have the Five of Swords. Five, right? Yeah, Five of Swords. So this is, you really you're looking to see, is there anything else in me that I need to look at? Is there any collateral damage that's there? So it's good that you're looking at that, but let yourself feel it as it comes up. What the universe is giving you is the Seven of Wands. So this is good because you have higher ground now. You're still kind of having to battle the situation out. I feel like there's still some active ties in what's happening for you right now. But with that, you have higher ground. So you're able to approach it from a different perspective and get more action taken. And then your guidance from the tarot is the Ten of Wands. So it's letting go of what's no longer serving you. It's letting go of whatever you're weighed down by that doesn't belong to you. It's time for you to let that go, because it's not serving you, and it's only slowing you down from achieving what you want to achieve and how you want to feel moving into the future. And then your outcome card is the Justice card. So I love this for you, because this really shows that the work that you put in will equally show in how you feel that it becomes resolved and how you come to the end of the situation. So know that things are balancing out. If things have felt imbalanced in whatever the situation is that you're dealing with, know that it's coming into perfect balance. And it's one that will be realized both in your mind and your heart and in your full experience. So allow yourself to process a bit more. And I think that you'll start to feel a little bit more comfortable in how these emotions and situations have been coming up.
Sweet. And for Chrissy, yes, we're here.
And so are you.
We've been here. Where have you been? I hope you're still watching and joining us. Just remember, for anybody watching, all you got to do is type me in whatever channel you're watching. Sorry, I just got something in my eye. I was eating hot chips in the car, and I think I had some still in my fingers, and I rubbed my fingers while you were talking, and now I've got a hot eye. What's up? All right, so it's one of those days. I think it's because I skipped lunch today. That's what it was. So we're going to go with Joan next, and I'll go ahead and take her. And for anybody else watching, okay, Sue says thank you. Give Wayne a little break. Hi, Joan. Welcome to the show. Thank you for watching us. I'm guessing this is your first time here with us. So for you, starting off in your foundation, this is about the indecision. So the indecision is upside down. So it lets me know that in your foundation, in your yesterday, you think that you're undecided on what the direction that you want to go or the choice you want to make in people, places, or things. But the fact is that deep inside, we already know. We know which way you're going. The only thing that is stopping you right now is that right now it's about taking action. So in order for right now it's about taking action. It's not you're trying to make this decision to set up a plan to start things going, but the universe is like, we've been going for a while now. Like, you had already made energetically, spiritually your decision. So it's not just about, now it's about your body and your mind catching up to what your spirit has been up to. And it has to do in your tomorrow, it's your female energy holding your heart. It's upside down. It's about trusting your heart more. And our heart, everybody, the way that I talk about it, the heart is that intake. It's the way we bring information, and then how you process it and how it's going to affect the rest of your chakras. So maybe we have an overload of information that we've been stocking up in our heart. I don't know for what reason we do that. Like, it's going to give us some answer, and usually it doesn't give us the right answer because there's so much information here. Maybe it's time to let go of some of the things. We're talking about the barrier and the alignment. It's letting go of the things that are holding you back from acknowledging that you've already made the decision. Because in your spirit, there's a possibilities. It's coming upside down. There's been opportunities presented to you. The universe has been like, hey, price is right. Door number 1, number 2, number 3. And you're like, I don't know. Is there a 4? Unfortunately, no. There's not a 4 right now. You got to pick from 1, 2, or 3 and go for it. Nothing will change until you take that first step physically. And then your mind will start seeing what's there because your spirit's already seen. And when there's that I feel like when there's that disconnection, our spirit feels like it's wandering alone. That's where the loneliness and alone energy feels. Now, in your heart, there's the 7th chakra upside down too. So this is the messages, and this is what I was saying, the messages that the universe is sending you to your crown chakra are not connecting. There's like this little disconnect. You know, like when your printer isn't printing and all you gotta do is just press one button, it's like, it shoots everything. That's what your heart is waiting for you to connect to spirit and go, okay, I will accept that some of the choices that I want to make are not the best things for me. So what have you in the universe have for me? Because I'm sure, I don't know if Wayne agrees with me. Sometimes we manifest and we vision board things, but we don't see the consequence of what's going to happen once we manifest. We only think about the manifestation, not of the outcome or consequences of. And I feel like this is where we need to think about that, but you got to go forward. Because here's the attachment card. This is what we need to work on. It's the attachment to people, places, and things in your life that no longer fit you, but we got to let it go. And then this one jumped out, so I pulled it out, and it's the goddess of the moon. This is a phase. It's only a phase. None of the things that you're holding on to that heavy are going to last forever. So it's important to start thinking about you and for you. So time to make some decisions so you can connect to the universe. Let go of the things that no longer serve you so you can look at the possibilities. Hold on to your heart, but don't be too hard on yourself. Take some action as you are ending this phase and starting a new one. So I hope that helps. But you're on the right track. You're on the right track. There's Wayne. There's Wayne. Hi, Wayne.
I'm back.
I'm back. So I hope that helps. Again, remember, if you miss anything of what we said, go back to our YouTube pages, either Wayne's or mine, and you can find what's there. So Cassandra is next for you. Are you good?
So what I would say, I had Matt, who did Light Nights with us, who
yes,
commented on Instagram before Cassandra popped up. And I love Cassie. I actually just did a reading for her as a friend recently. So I'd love for you to get to read her. So if it's okay, I'll do Matt now and then have you do her.
Got it.
Perfect. All right, Matt. I want to say too, I love seeing all of your traveling, all of your work with sound experiences. And next time if you make your way back around here to California, I will definitely be coming to enjoy one of those because it looks so awesome what you're doing. I'm so happy to see the work that you're doing out there. So with that said, we'll dive into your reading. So heart of the spread, this is really interesting. You have the 5 of Pentacles. So when the 5 of Pentacles comes up, this card I call the out in the cold card. So it's likely, especially, I know I'm talking a lot about the Scorpio energy that we've just been through, but it's likely the emotions that have come up for you in the past month during Scorpio season was really centered around feeling separate, feeling alone, feeling out in the cold, feeling like, to me, it gives me a sense of like continuing to look and seek your tribe in certain ways, finding it, but still feeling like you're going it alone. So know that that has come up in the past month and as a theme for you, likely because the universe is ready to help you heal that, helping you to feel more there, helping you to feel more connected with others. And with that said, your crossing card or your challenge is the Three of Wands. And I like this for you as a challenge card because what this tells me is that you are charting the path. You're out there. You are all over the place, which I love it. And you are really putting yourself out there. You have the tools that you know are successful for you. You're sharing your knowledge. You're sharing your wisdom. And so with that being said, I think that this is part of you continuing to discover your tribe and feeling more at home with others and recognizing the sense of community that you're building everywhere you're going. Intuitively, I feel like you are really making deep impacts with others. I feel like you're really helping others to come into better awareness of themselves as well too, which for me as a healer, and I'm sure you know this as well too, I'm sure Daniel can speak to this, that we hold space for others, but we get healed as well too. So in that way, I love that you're charting the course and you're getting out there and doing it. And your theme card is the Knight of Cups. So I love this too because you're doing it in a emotionally pure way. You're really putting yourself out there. You want to heal. You want to help heal others. You're really putting that energy out there in that way. And so it's showing up in that way. And it's the way that you are holding space for others. I can feel is so transformative. I'm sure the feedback that you get from your experiences and just in your interactions and the work that you do with others as a healer, you are really bringing in that healing energy again, not just for others in intense ways, but also for yourself. Recent past affecting your present, you have the King of Swords. So this is where the mind can at times challenge us, but I feel like you've done a lot of work on your self-talk, on the ways that you think and believe about yourself. So that has brought you to a space in the present of the Knight of Pentacles, of really understanding your value and your worth. And that is also helping that abundance flow in more and more for you as well too. And then moving forward into the future, you have the Judgment card, or I like to call it discernment instead. So you're coming into a place of discernment and not judging yourself and not judging your circumstances and how your story started in this life and where you've come to, and having that be the story that continues. You're really allowing that to be a healing journey for you and coming to acceptance with it and releasing that. So I love that for you as well too. What you are focused on or what you have control over, you have the Three of Pentacles reversed. So when this is upright, it typically represents being appreciated by others and knowing the value that you're putting out there. So with this being reversed, I think there's a sense of you knowing the value that you create, but they're still questioning at times. And they're still feeling like, am I really making that impact? Is that happening? And yes, it is. Spirit is telling me absolutely you are making that impact. You are, and it's in ways too where recognizing for you, how far have you come in the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever timeline you want to put on it, recognizing that you have continued to create value for yourself. And what the universe is giving you in this is the Four of Wands, which is celebrated in the community. Again, I feel such a sense of happiness for people that have gotten to work with you in whatever form that it is, and getting to know you and getting to befriend you as well too. So the universe is really highlighting this as a theme for you. And then what the universe is guiding you to is the Seven of Cups reversed. So this is helping you to recognize in what ways is the things that you're doing helping you. And then it feels like there still feels like there's other ways of what you feel like you should be doing. So there's many options out there. But what I would say is you've gone through a lot. You have experienced a lot. And it's time for you to decide, like, what are the 1, 2, or 3 big things that I want to really continue on and go even deeper on in my practice for myself and my practice for holding space for others in whatever way that is. And that will help you to further let go of the things that are no longer serving you. So your outcome card is the 10 of Wands reversed. So it's letting go of that heaviness. This is the theme today in the readings that I'm doing. This card came up previously. So it's that sense of knowing where have you taken on too much, or where are you taking on too much responsibility of others, and letting yourself release that so that you can move forward in ways that are helpful to you and continue to hold space without feeling like you have to carry it for those other people. So I will leave you with that.
Awesome. And for those of you that obviously don't know if you're new to this, back in 2012, for a couple of years, we had a group called the Light Knights, and Matt was part of that group. That I have to humbly say, I started the group, and then that's how I met Wayne and Christian and Berkeley, the people we were talking about earlier, Angie, Martha came in at the end, Amber was there with us. So a lot of people came. I'm going to say it. A lot of great intuitive psychic energy workers came out of Light Night. And one day it's going to be history when we make the movie, so which I'll be playing myself, obviously. Let me read a couple of comments. Joan says, funny you mentioned being connected at 7th. Wayne healing data reconnection for me. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yes, very helpful. And thank you, Daniel, for the validation to you. I have been working on getting rid of toxic people and energies. Good for you. And yes, I just have to move forward and do it. Yeah. Wayne, do you find sometimes that I always say that loyalty, culture, vows, not necessarily marriage vows, but I'm your bestie, you're my bestie. Like those are heavy words sometimes. And
yes,
as the cat jumps over, like, hi. Goddess of the Moon, I think, also reminded me to do ceremony on December 1st. Yeah. I'm glad all these things worked out for you. But sometimes we stay connected to people because we think we owe it to them to stay connected. And if you're hurting me, why would you? Why would I? Thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Okay, all right. So we can talk forever on different things. So I'm going to go with Cassandra.
Beautiful.
Oh, shoot. Cassandra, I should have pulled your cards while we were talking. I get caught up listening to Wayne do readings that I forget that there's people in line and that I should be pulling cards for y'all. But don't worry, this is going to be really quick. So. You know what? While I do this, say something while I pull her cards really quick.
Something. I'm just kidding. I'm excited. Well, this is more personal than it is for the show, but I'm super excited. Cassandra and I call her Cassie. We have been texting frequently, but we haven't had a chance to really connect. So I'm super excited. We've scheduled our phone date for Wednesday. So going out to the desert with Zav for Thanksgiving. And so I'm excited. Once we get out there, we're going to get settled and I get to have some time to connect with her and actually talk on the phone. And I'm not going to get emotional when I talk about this now, but I was sending her a voice message. And in that, I told her, I was like, I miss you. I love you. And I started to cry. So I'm so excited to have the opportunity to connect with her. She's an absolutely amazing, wonderful person. And I'm so excited for whatever message you have to deliver for her.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to start saying that this is really interesting. There's a lot of male energies around you. It's like all face cards, which is really interesting. So let's start off. So first of all, in your foundation, in your yesterday, here's the magician and the mirror, which is you seeing the mirror. It's upside down. So it's telling me that, Cassandra, I heard him call you Cassie. So if you don't want to call you Cassie, Cassie, I feel like you're not completely tapping into who you are. Like everything that you can do physically, spiritually, mentally, there's more energy there about transforming who you are and becoming the person that you want to become. And a lot of times we put this armor around us, and it could be mental, physical, spiritual. And people are like, what do you mean? Well, I can mentally disconnect from people and put some barriers around me. I can physically do things to repel people from coming towards me. And I can spiritually just be bleh, and people can feel the bleh. So what is that energy that you were sitting on that we need to change? Because, and I say what's interesting because the magician's there, and then here's the healer. This is you today. So that energy that you were sitting on that was kind of blah has become the healer that you are today. Talking about tunnels and journeys, that dark part that you went through where you were like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And then the universe like, hold, please hold. Keep hands and legs inside the cart at all times, because here we are. Be very aware that the disconnecting of some energies and the reconnecting to others and the way things are shifting can get you a little tied up. So if your energy is right now going, I know there's a path, I just can't see it. That is part of your journey and your path, is to just trust that the universe, God, life, they have a plan in store for you to make sure that you become the healer that you're supposed to become. In your heart, and this is the all tied up is the only feminine card in the reading. In your spirit, the hostilities that happened, because, and this happens to some people as we acknowledge our gifts and what we can do and how we can use them. it creates this turmoil that maybe we were brought up or taught that that is not something that's for you to do. I know that when I started, most people were like, oh yeah, it makes sense that you were doing this. And I thought people were going to be like, oh, no, not you. But then I've had friends that have tapped into the energy world and have people around them go, you really? Like after all you've been through, who you were, what you did, no, that's not for you. But this is for you. So your spirit might be fighting between what your brain says and what your heart says, but between you and I, nobody else. You are a healer, and you need to acknowledge that and just suck it in, just soak it up. But your heart needs to rest a little. Let your heart rest. And I feel like we talked about the energy. The heart is about taking in information from people, places, or things. You took in a lot of information, and I feel like that's part of the battle in the spirit. We need to let go of some of the information that does not belong to you. People came in and dropped it off. And it's like people dropping off bags in the middle of the airport. You don't grab them, you don't open them, you just call the police and let them pick them up. In your case, have your spirit angels, your guides, have them come pick up that extra baggage that was left off and take it away. Because here's your fifth chakra. See, we're just talking about, this is about your voice. It's about speaking your truth and who you really are. And that card is very connected to the healer. Speak it. I had a lot of problems when people were telling me, like, you're really good, like, healer. Like, my old teacher used to tell me, like, you're a shaman. And I was like, I'm not, like, whatever. Like, that's, but, you know, we got to own it at a certain point. And look, here's the theme of the night. It's indecisions. Just got to make a decision to move forward. So rounding it up is, you are the magician that people are looking for, but you've got to give yourself some rest so that you can use your voice for power, spells, manifestations, all that comes from your throat. Man, I get the feeling you would be really good at that, but it's going to create some inner hostilities, keep you tied up for a little while until you accept that you are a healer and make the decision to move forward. I hope that made sense. I'm going to bring Wayne back in, but I feel like we just got to acknowledge, I know we used to talk about this a lot, owning who you are and not feeling like an imposter, not feeling like you're lying. And even when you've already done 10 things or said 10 things that were on spot, but the 11th one, you were like, oh, I missed one. Missed it. So I must be a fraud. and then you do have moments like this, like Joan that comes back and say, hey, let me validate what you just said. And you have, I say this with love, you have to walk away and go, yes, thank you, universe, God, life, thank you. Thank you for giving me the ability to do this work and to deliver the messages for you, not for me. It's not about me. Thank you for allowing me to do this. And that you taught me to do that at certain points. Like, just accept that you're good at what you do. Like, just accept it. Just accept it.
And I've struggled with that for sure in the past too.
Say it again.
I've definitely struggled with that in the past too, with the imposter syndrome and the, and it's when you start to do the work and get, validations are good and important, but at some point that helps you get to that point. But then once at a certain point, you will start being so good at it and you'll know, like intuitively, you'll be able to say, no, I'm on. This is what it feels like. This is when I usually get this validation. So then it becomes less of the validation from the outside and it becomes more of that knowing of like, no, because of that, to a degree, I'm now able to resonate and understand when it's happening within myself. And I can then appreciate whatever the message is that's coming through, whether it's us intuitives, whether it's just, someone who doesn't necessarily identify directly as an intuitive or a healer, but, we're all intuitive. And when we're in that sync with ourselves, we can really have amazing things come through where it feels like magic because how information can flow in that space.
Yeah. Yeah. And before we're going to do, we have Jody holding. Jody, don't go anywhere. Wayne's going to take you. But I think, like when we talk about light nights, and I'm so glad Matt's here because that's like we all came into this knowing there was something about us, knowing that we could do something. Oh, Jesus, makes so much sense, and it's crazy to get a reading from someone different than Wayne, but for the information to resonate just as well from him. Thank you for validating that. When we were in light nights, we all would come in and be like, okay, it's your week to teach us something, and we would learn. But then you would go home going, did I really do that? Like with pendulums, did it really move on its own, or did I move it? And then, and then you read for somebody and you're like, you know what, let me pull out a pendulum. And you're like, oh, that's right. I'll give you the quick example before we go to Jody. My godson's mom, her last, she has 4 kids. The last one, little girl, they had told her she was having a boy, and I went in to her. I'm like, "You having a girl?" She was like, "No, they said it's a boy." I'm like, "Look, you asked me what I thought. This is what I think." But on the way home, I was like, "Could I have been wrong? Maybe I was wrong. Like maybe this time I was wrong. Maybe I didn't realize." She had a girl. She had a girl.
Right.
I was right. And did I gloat and did I boast about? Yes, I did.
As you should. Yes.
I went back and said, "I told you so," as I should.
Well, and that's like one of those situations where I love it when it's great to have that validation, but when it's, for some reason, when it's medical, right, where it's like medical knows, Western medicine knows, and it can't be wrong, and you know, when intuitive information comes through and disproves that to a degree, that's when it's like even more so. It's like, yes, like I was right, I felt it, and I'm glad that I leaned into it. It's kind of that test for yourself almost.
And then working with y'all here and not seeing your faces and not being in front of you, and all we can go by is our intuition. This is why I started doing this back when. It was like, this is the test for us. So for anybody who's starting to do readings or something, I totally encourage you, jump on Instagram, jump on TikTok, and just do random readings for people that you don't know, and ask them to validate. And most people will for sure validate you if it's true or not. But that's how I learned during the lockdown, like really honed in on my gift and go, if I can read 10 people on TikTok and be right all 10 times, then you have to acknowledge, like,
yes,
if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck,
talks like a duck, then it must be a duck.
Tastes like duck. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go.
All right, so Jody, I pulled a spread for you, and let's take a look and see what we have going on here. And I was tuned into it, and then we started talking, so I just want to dive back into it for a second. Okay, so the heart of your situation, you have the Knight of Swords. So you have energy of forward movement in thought. It feels like there's been, you know, for you trying to figure out what do you need to do to move forward. And it's interesting, tapping into your energy. I get such a intelligence from you. I don't know if you have Virgo in your chart. It's giving me a lot of Virgo, where it's like I see the whole system, and you're very organized in the way that you want to make things happen. How this happens, how that happens, how this happens, moving that forward. So with that, there's this energy of forward movement, and that you've been contemplating how to move forward in this way for quite some time. And I feel like you're really starting to feel inspired. Like, this is the idea. This is how I want to move forward. This is what I'm wanting to do. So I love that for you as the heart of the spread. The card that is your crossing card or your challenge at this time is the Two of Wands. So with this tells me that there is a questioning of yourself of where are you wanting to go? This card has this person here looking out over the ocean. You can't see it, but they're looking out over the ocean. They've sent their ships to sea, and it's what are you putting out into the world? So you're still, I think, kind of questioning in it. And it's not a sense of, I think you know what you want to put out into the world, but it's whatever this idea is that you've been contemplating lately. This is the time where you're like, is this the right time? Is this going to hit the mark of what I'm looking to do? So that's where your challenge is at this time, is you're kind of questioning that. And what I'll say is, I think that it is. I think that you're ready to move forward with whatever this idea is that's at the heart of your spread, for a few reasons. This is one of them. Your theme card, your overview card, it is the 7 of Pentacles. So there's value in what you have understood thus far. There's value in what you've created thus far and what you're wanting to put out there. There may be some past influences that are showing up that are causing you to doubt. Maybe, is this right? Is this something that I'm capable of doing? It's kind of that conversation Daniel and I were just having of that, like, imposter syndrome. And it's interesting because you come across in a way that makes me feel like most people would not think that there's an imposter syndrome about you. And even for yourself, I feel like you're very well put together, but there's times that you question, what are you capable of? What are you able to move forward with? So there's that. Recent past affecting your present, you have the Ace of Wands reversed. So whatever action you were trying to take previously, there was a challenge because it wasn't the right time yet. There was still experiences that needed to happen that you needed to go through before you could feel like it's the right time to move forward. So in that stagnation, know that that's that gift. Again, that's kind of what we talked about in the question that we asked earlier of what were you challenged by initially, but now you feel like, I'm thankful for this happening. And I think this is one of those things that you'll feel that way maybe in the near future, maybe not right in this moment, but very soon. So with that said, the current influences that you have, another reason that I feel like this really is the right time for you to move forward, you have the Three of Wands. So this card has also come up in other readings that I've done tonight. So this is knowing that you are charting the course, that you have all the tools that you need necessary to go through with the plans that you have in place. So this really is the right time for you to be able to move forward. And then future influences, you have the Knight of Swords. So with the Knight of Swords, I'm sorry, not Knight, the Page of Swords, there is a message of confirmation coming in for you very soon, and a message that you are on the right track. And I feel like there's going to be someone that can come in and assist you with what you're looking to do, what you're looking to accomplish, and know that that message is coming in. Internal influences, what you have control over. Again, this has kind of been a theme card that we've had from other readings that I've done tonight. You have the Five of Swords. So there's this sense of recognizing, what have I gone through? What have I experienced? What have I done? And what are the ramifications of that? So you're kind of really looking to see, like, where's the damage? Am I causing damage? Is something happening? But what I like for you is the universe is giving you the Nine of Cups, which is the genie, the wish card. It is that energy of what you are asking for, the universe is saying yes to. So this really is, now I feel now more than ever with this card here, whatever this idea is that you finally are moving forward with, it's ready. It's ready to happen. It's ready to move forward. And your guidance from the tarot is the Hangman. So you've looked at the situation upright, you've looked at it from the other perspective, and it really is ready to move forward. And with your outcome card, you have the Six of Wands. So with the Six of Wands, this is knowing that what you're putting out there, you have the intention, you've thought this through. And so I have nothing but belief that you'll be able to come home celebrated and successful in whatever this is that you're looking to do. So, so move forward with it. It really is the right time. And I'm excited to have that happen for you. Have you kind of come to this full realization and be able to start moving forward with it?
Oops. Sorry, that wasn't the intention. She was saying yes. For the people that are just joining, all you got to do is type me. We don't need your birthday. We don't need your horoscope, your signs. We could use your tips and donations, but first love. Interesting, cool. But yes, we don't need your zodiac sign or your birthday. All you need to do is type me in the comment section. That gives us our energetic permission to tap into your energy. We will not tap you without your permission. Oh, okay, cool. That's so romantic. I feel like as we get older, to tap into those first love energies and remember what that first love was like, and you know what I mean. Like, there's a song by Amy Grant called "I Will Remember." It's one of my favorite love songs. Just it's supposedly talking about somebody passing, and I will remember you, and how she sees them. She sees somebody look similar in the crowd, and like, there's been moments when all my exes are in Texas. Literally, it's not just a song. All my exes are in Texas. But every once in a while, I'll be walking in LA or here in Laguna, and I'll see somebody that reminds me of somebody. I'm like, and I remember how intense that love was, and how deep I could love. And I think that's just so beautiful to be able to hold to that energy. 53, when my first love was when I was 19, and be like, I remember you. I remember you. Okay, so I think Pablo Melesio speaks Spanish. I'm going to guess. Pablo, si estás ahí y quieres una lectura, di yo en los comentarios y yo te leo. So just in case, would you take Laura, and then I'll take Pablo, just in case he jumps in. All right.
You got it. All right, Laura, just shuffling for you, and we will tune in and see what's going on for you. All right. So, this is interesting. Looks like you have also, I mean, everyone gets affected by the astrology energy, and definitely that Scorpio season that we just came out of. But it looks like you are really thriving coming out of this. So we'll dive right in. So the heart of your spread, you have the sun reversed. So even when this card's reversed, it still really is that energy of childlike exuberance, of excitement. So maybe in a way it feels like it's been dampened to you to a degree. But with other cards that are around that I'll speak to, it feels like you're really coming into a better emotional tune with yourself, more deep in your emotions, and feeling them more intensely in a way that does serve you. And that's intuitive that I'm feeling that for sure. So recognizing there's this childlike exuberance about you, and I think it's been brought up in a way that is helping you to clear away more of the way that you felt like you had to perceive the world, feel the world out emotionally. And so you're coming into a much better realization in that way. Your crossing card is the Magician. So it feels like right now you're maybe having issues with trying to manifest, trying to create something from nothing. And to me, it feels like you have the tools that you need to be successful, but there's a sense of knowing that you need to I feel like it's setting intentions in a different way, letting yourself move forward in a different way, but knowing that that's kind of what's blocking you. What I love for you is the theme card. You have the 10 of Cups. So this is about emotional satisfaction that's affecting your past, present, and future. So there is, again, this ties with the sun, that there's more emotional realization that's coming through, more ways that you're feeling your emotions in a way that is significant and not just intense in a shadow or challenging way. Your recent past affecting your present, you have the Knight of Wands. So there's been action in your recent past and more creativity wanting to come forward. I feel like there's maybe a creative endeavor or something that you've just been enjoying doing yourself that you've been doing that coming into the present is helping you to acknowledge your emotions a little bit more, because it's interesting. Coming into the present, you have the 9 of Wands. So it's like this creative expression that you've been doing has led you to a place of like opening up emotionally more. But now since you've opened up emotionally more, now you're kind of like, oh, this is intense to a degree. And how do I make sure that I don't get my feelings hurt in this? How do I make sure that I don't let the same situation happen over and over again? So with that, what's interesting, your future influences card is Judgment reversed, or again, as I call it, discernment. So it feels like you're coming into a place of recognizing that this emotional growth and intensity that you're feeling, it's going to serve you because it's going to give you more discernment in recognizing what are you responsible for, what are other people responsible for, and really you recognizing that you just need to speak your truth and speak your truth authentically. And that in other ways is going to help you to stand in your power and know that your emotions, while sometimes need to be processed, especially those more challenging ones, you're going to come to a place that helps you to better communicate that to others and those that you care about so they can really understand where you're coming from. Internal influences, you have the 2 of Swords reversed. So there's been kind of the shut off from your emotions. So this really does let me know that you have, come into a further deepening with your emotions and the intensity that you feel them. So that's good. And what's interesting, and as these emotions have come up, part of that denial of those emotions was a denial of recognizing a situation wasn't serving you. So the universe has brought forward this card, the 8 of Cups, and it is letting you know that it's time to leave behind this emotional situation that's no longer serving you. And through that process, the guidance that you have is the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So this would be a sense of recognizing that the ways that you were holding yourself back from acknowledging your emotional truth have made you kind of stand still. But now the more that you lean into it and recognizing that even if it's hard to have that conversation or acknowledge what that emotional truth is that you've come to, the more that you allow yourself to have that happen, the more quickly you'll be able to move forward. And in your outcome, you have the King of Swords. So with the King of Swords as a reverse, it's recognizing that there's more than just the mind, and that the mind doesn't necessarily start the emotions. There needs to be that balance between them. So know that this emotional intensity that you're feeling in a much more deep way, it actually serves you well, but you need to lean into that authenticity. You need to lean into that transparency, and that's going to serve you going forward. And I will leave you with that.
Cool. We didn't get, I should say full sentences, right? That usually helps.
Maybe.
Maybe, it helps, kind of. Thank you so much, Wayne. Yes, it resonates with her. Pablo did not come back, but we had somebody in my Instagram. So we're going to go with him. Where is he? Forever Lamar. So Lamar, I'm gonna take you. Give Wayne a little rest. For Lamar, in your foundation, sir, there is the door to happiness and healing. This is a time, this is your foundation. This is a time for you to start looking at you. There's a theme tonight as everybody's like looking into themselves. And this is very typical of this time of the year. We started like really a retrospective of our lives and what did we do for ourselves and what are we missing? Because in your today, the blossoming and the abundance is there and it's upside down. So it tells me that some of the decisions that we made in the past, some of the decisions we made early in our past, recently in our past, were not the decisions that we were wholeheartedly going into. So for everybody, when I think about making decisions, if I make decisions with my brain and very logical, and there's so many variants and we're not able to adjust to things moving and changing, our spirit has a hard time adjusting but never fear, there's a new phase beginning to you. Here's the goddess of the moon again. So some of the things that were not working for you, Lamar, are going to start adjusting themselves, particularly because in your spirit, the journey card is upside down. So it tells me that we're not really ready to want to go on this journey, but your spirit has been like, your spirit is the colors of the wind. Why am I quoting all these movies tonight? But your spirit wants to fly, but you're like, logically, I shouldn't. I've invested too much money, time, energy into this one thing. I should stick with it. But I believe that the abundance that you're seeking for spiritually is in something different. In your heart, the financial constraints, what was holding your heart back is finally opening up. So opening up your heart to different and new possibilities. This could be people, place, or things. For the most part, it's usually always people that are in our hearts. We want to go after it. So I believe that the new relationships that you are seeking, whether they be romantic, friendly, or professional, allow those energies to be part of your life. Because in your outcome is the exit. This is what we need to work on, is the envy card. If you are concerned about why other people are moving forward or why other people are in a certain position or situation that you are not, well, it's because you keep going back to where you started. Nobody is like Chutes and Ladders. Nobody sends you back, but you just go back and see, maybe this time you just got to keep going forward. And what we need to work on, here we go. It's the angel of love. I was going to say, if your heart is, because I usually, this one I have it down, I say it with you. If you're closing up your heart, then what we need to work on is the love around us and acknowledge that there is love around you. And it starts with you. In the words of famous philosopher RuPaul, if you can't love yourself, how the hell can you love somebody else? She doesn't say it like that, but that's my own take on it. So Lamar, what it's telling me here is that open that door to your happiness so you can let go to the constraints in your heart and the envy that surrounds it. Go on this new journey, start a new phase in your life so you can see all the abundance that's available for you and you can find the love that's waiting. So I hope that's helped. I hope Lamar is still watching. I'll be waiting back because we're almost done. But I hope that helps.
I love the RuPaul quote. RuPaul is so wise in so many ways.
You know, she knows a couple of things. Before we go, let's tell you what we got going on. When you want to start?
Yes, absolutely. So if you want to work with me deeper or in more other ways, there's lots of ways to do so. I offer intuitive tarot readings. I am at the Awakenings bookstore in Laguna Hills Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I also offer readings outside of that window. So if you're wanting to do a reading on Tuesday or Wednesday or even a weekend day, I can set that up either in person or we could do that on phone or video call. I also offer Rehutek energy healings. That's the ancient Egyptian energy modality. Very powerful. Helps you to come in with any type of blockage that you're looking to work through, anything that you're feeling challenged by. It's kind of an intuitive reading / energy healing. I also offer space clearings for home or business if your home's feeling stagnant. If after Thanksgiving you have family members who are, stunk up your home energetically, it's a great opportunity to do a space clearing to clear out all that energy. And it's not just about clearing the space, but we clear the space and then set intention. So if you're wanting to be more intentional with your home or business, it's a great opportunity to use that Rehutek energy modality to do so. I also offer those written dream interpretations through my website. I love doing astrology birth chart interpretations. It's the instruction manual you were born, you should have been given when you were born. So I love doing those types of things to break down and see what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your challenges. I also have my monthly chakra reset sound bath experience. I know Joan spoke to that as well too. I'm so glad we had such a great experience last Friday at Visions. I have my next one coming up in a few weeks. So we still have a little bit of time before that. And then we have some Rehutek events coming up at the beginning of next month. But besides that, the new album, the Meditative Quest Through the Zodiac album, Sagittarius, is now available for purchase and download. So this is a great way for you to better understand the Sagittarius energy that we're being broadcasted with by the sun right now. If you're a Sagittarius yourself, this also is a great way to tap into those energies that you are strengthened by or challenged by. So I love this one. This was a really great one that came forward in creating it. And they're all energy infused also with that Rehutek ancient Egyptian energy modality. So every time you listen to either the body scan meditation, the Sagittarius guided meditation, or the sleep track, you are being bathed in that energy that helps you to sleep deeper, to have the healing that you need to have in all of those great ways. So that album, the Sagittarius, as well as the other zodiac signs up to Sagittarius, are all available on my website for purchase and download.
Awesome. And for those of you looking for transpersonal coaching, either life, spiritual, or a combination of both, we have the alignment. You can identify and knowledge and remove barriers. We did the mini at the beginning of the session, but you get a whole hour and a half of just you. Plus, I have longer packages. We have the 8 session and a 3 concentrated version of it. These are good for one-on-ones, groups, team building workshops, in person or virtual. For more information, visit thealignment.net where you can connect. Letting you know, so if you're looking for a medium, my boyfriend Christian is available for sessions. There's his information. And don't miss Christian and Daniel shows on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on this channel. And on Saturdays, I don't know why I didn't change the thing again. It's at 10 o'clock a.m., not 12 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. But we have a couple of guests this coming Saturday. It's these 2 gentlemen who started their own mezcal company, and called the Dos Gabachos Mezcal. And they're going to come on the show and tell us how they started. As white boys started their business in mezcal, and how they were. Although I'm not a drinker, I did tell them maybe you should start thinking of a non-alcoholic version of a mezcal. For those of you that don't know what mezcal is, it's made similar to tequila, but it's a stronger taste than tequila. For me, it's more delicious. It was one of my favorites when I was drinking. So yeah, those were the days. I want to remind you, where is it? A couple of things that happened, just so you guys know what's going on in the world. I was part of the Laguna Beach kindness event. These are part of the pictures. The picture is you hold the eye and you become the eye in kind. And put it on your calendars. November 13th is World Kindness Day. Here in Laguna, we celebrate either the Saturday before or after. Check your local cities for their kindness event. The picture in the middle is Laguna Beach HIV Advisory Committee. We go a couple of weeks before World AIDS Day, which is on the 1st, December the 1st. We go up and put ribbons around Laguna Beach with people's names who had passed from complications from AIDS. And then the third picture, I went to go see Wicked last week, in fact, a week ago. I got to go see it as part of the Amazon premiere, a preview. Have you seen it yet, Wayne?
No, it's on the to-do list. I cannot wait. I saw it 7 times at the theater at Pantages, the live theater production. So I am super excited for the movie.
For everything that I love about the theater production,
even more so, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
This is one of the few times I said, "Girl." I wanted to sing along, but I was so mesmerized, and the visuals. The only thing I would recommend, if you have not seen it, please do not watch any of the how it was made videos. Don't watch them. Don't look at them. Don't acknowledge them. Joan said, "Thank you guys. I have Thanksgiving to everyone." Yes, Thanksgiving to you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. And then the last picture I wanted to show, for those of you that I've been an HIV advocate for the last 24 years. Here in Laguna Beach, December 1st, 2024, will be our World AIDS Day event here at in Laguna Beach at the main beach. It starts at 3:30, but if you're not in the area, I will be transmitting live on my YouTube page and on my Facebook page. So if you would want to watch along, I will have interviews for the first 30 minutes. Not sure, for the first hour, we have interviews. And then the next hour is the reading of the names. These are people who have passed away from complications with AIDS. And it's the visual. We do it every year. And Wayne joined us last year as our photographer. I haven't talked to him yet. I didn't get a chance to talk to him.
I was going to tell you, I saw you posted it, and I was going to say I'm happy to come again this year because it was very moving and really cool to get to. I mean, you interviewed me too. You were a huge part of my HIV awareness in that I didn't really know anyone or was close with anyone who was HIV positive, and there was a lot that I learned from you, and I know I spoke to that in the interview last year. So I love that opportunity to honor you in that way, and all of those LGBT people that have suffered through it, and what I learned more about it just as more in my middle age, I guess you could say now. It is such it has been such a history in our history as LGBTQ IA plus, and so I'm happy to hold space and to honor those in that history of it, and and it helps us to see more of what needs to happen now and what needs to happen in the future to continue to educate people on it and educate it. And Daniel has been such an amazing advocate for that, with his life having been touched by it as well too. So if you can come in person, mark your calendars to be there for his live. If you can't be there in person, it's a really cool way to learn more about it, and then getting to hear the names called. It is it's heartbreaking to a degree. It is inspiring to a degree because it makes you want to step up and ensure that the less and less people that are impacted by negative waves, just by understanding it better education, and funding certain ways of being able to research it more so that we can end it. It is something that makes me want to be a part of it. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Yes. So you heard it here, folks. Yeah, but yeah, in fact, we're about to go meet for dinner. So just so y'all know, we do hang out outside of the show. So we're going to go have dinner right now. So we'll talk about it more then. For now, I want to thank everybody for joining us. This has been the Crab and the Goat Show, episode 4. If you want to follow more, follow us on our channels, Instagram and YouTube. If you want to rewatch this, go back to our channels on YouTube and you can check it out. Anything before we go, Mr. Wayne?
Thank you guys for showing up today, and I'm so glad to have been able to hold space for all of you that we read for. And like I said before, I feel like holding space for others, you get messages for yourself. So I'm thankful to you. So yeah.
Happy and blessed whatever it is that you do and you celebrate. Don't eat too much, and if you do, come tell us about it next week.
That's right.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right.